Good evening and welcome back to the Monsoon Cup. We're here in Malaysia for the 8th and final event of the World Match Racing Tour 2011. It has been quite a day here at day one of the Monsoon Cup. We have had all sorts of conditions. We started off the morning with typical monsoon weather. The heavens open and the rain came, and with it came some extraordinary breeze. We had conditions of winds of up to about 40 knots. This afternoon then it completely died, and in the end the final flight of this afternoon was abandoned because there was in fact no wind. We managed to get through a few flights this afternoon, but before we talk about the results, I'm going to talk to our PRO here. David, it's been such a tough day for you today, hasn't it?
Yeah, this place is amazing. It's the toughest conditions I've ever seen here, and this is my 6th year here now, and I've never seen conditions where I can't see the top marks before, and the guys still sailed in it, and yeah, it was spectacular. So we had 30 knots there at one stage, topping out at 40 knots, and then half an hour later it was back to becalmed and ended up having to blow up the last race. So it was, it's all on here.
I mean, your job as principal race officer here is to make sure the racing is good, the racing is fair, and that you're setting good courses and making good decisions about this. And I mean, today must have been one of the toughest days that you've probably had in your career. And we must say that David is in fact a PRO of the year, 2 years running. So you're up there with the best.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's certainly a tough venue. We've got 3 tidal streams running in here, plus the tide coming in, and when the monsoonal fronts come through, it's pretty hard to keep up with. So we try and set it up so that we don't favour one side of the track as to the other. But it is quite tough today. We had trouble anchoring with the 40 knots of wind, so we're flying around in the pre-start as well. So. It's tough. We've got a good bunch of guys out there. They've sort of been here 4 or 5 years now, and without them I'd be nowhere. So.
And you got a little bit tangled up, I hear, earlier with your anchor line. Do you want to talk about that?
We started dragging in the pre-start, and so we tried to hold station, and with a couple of moorings out there, and we ended up on the wrong side of it. And then when we tried to untangle ourselves, we just tangled ourselves up further, and then we couldn't get anywhere out of it, so we ended up almost on the dock at that stage with no finish line, and so I ended up in a rubber ducky being the finish line at that point. So, yeah, it's a crazy place, but that's why I love coming back here. So.
And of course, with these tricky conditions can come some unhappy sailors at times. And how do you deal with that? Because you really are in the firing line. When they're not happy with a decision, it's you that they come to, isn't it?
It sure is, and not so much on day one, but certainly last year we saw that with the World Match Racing Tour being decided on the final day, along with the prize money for the Monsoon Cup being decided, and had 5 or 6 people chasing me around the building, each with their own little agenda. So yeah, it's tough, and just try and do the best we can. And I'm sort of used to it. I've been umpiring and things with these guys, so they know me and I know them pretty well. So.
Okay, David, well, thank you very much for joining us. Now, we have talked about this incredible weather that we have experienced today, and we were out there in the thick of it, capturing all the very best of the moments. testing condition here for all people involved in the Monsoon Cup, but no more so than the sailors out there on the water. And this is an event that is so important to them. It's the final event of the 2011 World Match Racing Tour. It's the Monsoon Cup. There's loads of money up for grabs and, of course, a World Championship to be won. And somebody who knows all about the pressure being out there, Bjorn Hansen, not a tour card holder, but having had a great season, a win in career, is here. And you've come out on top of the leaderboard today with 3 consecutive wins. You must be delighted.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's still just the first day, but when I came in and saw the scoreboard, we realized that Sweden versus the rest of the world was 5-0, so that was good, as Johnny won 2 of his matches too. No, I mean, it's been very difficult conditions, as you all have seen. We have had everything from 40 knots down to nothing in the end, and the guys on board did a fantastic job, and we felt a little bit like wet cats for a while when we couldn't find one single dry spot on the body, and still we had our dry tops on, and so yeah, it's been a fun day, and of course 3-0 is fantastic after the first day, but we know that it's still going to be 8 very tough matches, so it's a long way to go.
3-0, but a couple of those matches really tough ones. You raced against Ian Williams out there and beat him by quite some margin. Also Jesper Radek this morning. So, you know, it's not like those matches were givens. It's not like they were some of the lower ranked guys. You know, this is Ian Williams, who was right at the top of the leaderboard. You know, that must be some confidence.
Yeah, of course, it's always nice to beat Ian for sure, but I think that we are at least 11, maybe 12 teams here that can really win the Monsoon Cup. So it's all about having a good week, and of course it's easier with a good start.
Now, Monsoon Cup aside, let's just talk about the World Championship for a moment. There are obviously a handful of guys that can win the World Championship. Sadly, you're not one of them, but you're definitely in contention for a podium if something drastic happens. If you do well, some of the other guys don't do so badly. Let's look at our top 3. Ian Williams, Francesco Bruni, Torvar Mirsky. Who's your money on for the championship? Come on, I want a completely honest answer here.
Torvar Mirsky.
Why?
I think that they've been sailing really good here after Marstrand, and it seems that they have a good spirit in the team now, and they had a good start here today, and yeah, it's a tough pick, but if I have to choose anyone, that would be Torvar.
Wow, interesting. I love it. There'll be lots of people getting on Twitter now and spreading the word, saying Hansen reckons that Torvar's going to win. Now, someone else that joins me now, Will Tiller, one of our wildcard entries. Well, in fact, no, not you qualified to get here. You're not a tour card holder, but you won the Asian Match Racing Championships, Will, and you have had an absolutely cracking start to this event, 2-1 up. Absolutely brilliant. You must be delighted.
Yeah, definitely. I think we sort of sailed smart, and we were fast, and we got the right shifts that came through for the big wind squalls, and yeah, it sort of just paid off from there, and we're pretty happy to be on a scoreline of 2-1 at a World Tour event. And I think after Germany earlier this year, we were only one race the whole time. It's good to already be past that, so yeah, we're looking forward to more racing.
Now, we've obviously seen you in Germany before. We have met you before. It's not your first appearance on the World Match Racing Tour, but the Monsoon Cup is a really big event. It's the one that everyone wants to come to because of the prize money, but also because of the prestige of the event. You know, what does it mean for you being here? Obviously, you won the Asian Match Racing Championships to be here.
This has been the big regatta that our team's targeted to come to the whole year. We've tried to build up at grade 2s, trying to get to be able to compete at this level, and so we're definitely stoked that we made it here, and it's just we want to push on from now on. So yeah.
Okay, and you were racing Phil earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a rivalry with Phil at the moment. I'm not sure why, but we like this venue, and we've sailed these boats before, so we're quite confident, and we've sailed Phil a lot in similar boats, so it's definitely great to beat another Kiwi team, and yeah, it feels good.
So for those of you not sure what we're talking about, Phil Robertson, the other New Zealand sailor here who is a tour card holder. He's a little bit older than Will, but you went out there and smashed him earlier. Now, we've heard from Bjorn Hansen that he thinks Torvar Mirsky's going to win the championship. Now, over to you. Who's your money on?
I think my money's on Francesco Bruni. I think, we're kind of rooting for him. Hopefully he wins.
Wow, okay, so no money on Ian Williams at the moment, but I'm sure we'll talk to some people later on in the week who will be very keen to see Ian Williams of Great Britain win the World Championship. This is the Monsoon Cup, and of course this is where a champion will be made, and that champion will receive a brand new trophy, a trophy that has been delivered here from the UK, designed and made by Garrard, the very, very famous jewellers, and this is how it got here. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the World Match Racing Tour, I'd like to thank you all so much for joining us for this night of celebration as we unveil underneath this scarf the official new ISAF World Match Racing Tour Championship Trophy.
Well, it's great to be up here in Albemarle Street at the home of Garrard, the jewellers. We've got a new trophy, it looks fantastic.
I mean, isn't this tremendous to be here at Garrard's for the launch of the World Match Racing Tour trophy? Imagine that it could go on for 150 or 160 years like that other little trophy, the 100 Guinea Cup.
Really looking forward to doing our best to try and win it in Malaysia in a couple of weeks' time.
I had a brilliant time. It was fun. It was a buzz unveiling a trophy that's so beautiful and hopefully becomes a part of sailing history.
Sailing doesn't always register with the hearts of, you know, celebrities and people across the country, but this really has struck a chord, and there's some amazing people here tonight. Colin Jackson's been here, and you know, he's really at the top of the tree of sporting history, and people like Brendan Cole from Strictly Come Dancing, and a whole host of other people from the celebrity world, the sporting world, but also the sailing world as well. It's just an incredible night.
I think having a new trophy is a sign of a new tour, a changing tour, and the new status that the World Match Racing Tour has in sailing.
This is an absolutely magnificent moment. Here we've got a trophy for a champion. It's a Garrard and WMRT triumph, I think. This trophy here is a world-class trophy. Garrard has made some very famous ones, including the America's Cup, the Cricket World Cup, and this really is going to stand the test of time and be here for hundreds of years.
And so that is the ISAF World Match Racing Tour Championship Trophy that will be won here in Malaysia at the end of the week on Sunday when we have the final of the Monsoon Cup. But of course, to get to the final, you have to get through qualifying round. And we got through 4 flights of that qualifying round today. So let's have a quick look at the scores. At the top of the leaderboard, we've just spoken to him. A great day, Bjorn Hansen of Sweden with 3 wins and no losses. In second place, it's Johnny Berntsen with 2 wins and no losses. Also on 2 wins and no losses, it's Francesco Bruni of Italy. Will Tiller, the young Kiwi, on 2 wins and 1 loss. Peter Gilmore of Australia on 2 wins and 1 loss. Torvar Mirsky on 2 wins and 1 loss. Jesper Radic on 1 win and 2 losses. Phil Robertson on 1 win and 2 losses. Damien Yell on no wins and 1 loss. Mathieu Richard on no wins and 2 losses. Ian Williams, bad day for him, no wins and 2 losses. And Jeremy Koo at the bottom of the table with no wins and 3 losses. Now, of course, tomorrow is day 2, and hopefully the weather will have improved, and we will be racing through the rest of the flights in qualifying round, ready for the weekend and ready to move on to the knockout round. So please do join us. I'll be back tomorrow in the morning with the morning show, and of course we'll be back with a live window between 3 and 5 p.m. That is local time, so it's UTC +8, I believe, and of course you can follow us on Twitter. We're at WorldMRT or www.facebook.com/World Match Racing Tour, or log on to the website, send us a message, stay in touch, and do watch all the action here as we conclude the World Match Racing Tour 2011 here at the Monsoon Cup.